All right, guys, hello. Hi, how are ya? Ew, not Jeffree Star. Guys. Oh my gosh, hello. Welcome to episode 2 of my podcast, the Clinical Waste Podcast, where I'm clinically insane and this is probably going to be a waste of your time. All right, let's get into it today. First off, I just want to say, if you've listened to the first episode, thank you so much. If you haven't, go back and watch it. I don't know exactly what my plan is, but I think I'm going to drop a few episodes at the same time. So then if one title doesn't appear to someone, maybe the next one will get their attention. But anyway, if this is your first episode, if this is your 20th, if this is your second, whatever it is, thank you so much for joining me. Now, I want to talk today about gay dating, relationships, queerness, pride, the vibe. I'm probably going to need therapy after this, for sure. Wait, I don't even know. Can Geminis get therapy? Is that allowed? Are Geminis allowed to have therapy, guys? Someone know? No? Okay, I don't know. I hope Geminis can get therapy because, I want to share my experiences with my gay dating. And what I want to do is I'm going to take you on a journey, all right? We're going to go on a little journey today, a little trip. I don't have my license, but we're going to go for a ride. I'm going to do some 3 stages of Christmas type beat. Like the past, the present, the future thing. What's that? What's that movie? Scrooge? I don't know. I'm going to take you on a journey anyway. So we're going to go from the past, explaining why am I out of breath, guys. I'm already out of breath, guys. It's going to be a really big journey. No, but we're going to go through my past, through my, first experiences going into the dating and hookup world as a young queer person in a small town. Then we're going to transition to the present-ish or just more recent where I've moved to Perth and my experiences in Perth in a city. And then we're going to talk about my future and what I want out of a future partner. So we're going to go on a journey, all right? All right, so the past. Now, I want to take you back to me when I was 17. It was a week off my 18th birthday. So 17, I was a virgin. I was a little proud Mary girl. I was great. I was just a little golden child. I was in high school in my last year. Maybe not. It might have been though, actually. Maybe not. Anyway, I was in high school and I was like, it's a week before my 18th birthday and my 18th birthday party. I just don't want to be a virgin at the age 18. I know, looking back on it now, there's no rush. And I hope everyone knows that if you're under 18 listening to this, there's absolutely no rush. Even if you're 23 and you still haven't had any experiences, good on you. There's no rush on that. I was like, I think it's just the pressure of, being young and thinking that you need to have experiences, you need to do certain things anyway. So I was at school, I was thinking of some sort of sports class. We were doing some indoor sport thing and there was a newish guy in class and I was just I don't know why, but I could just I think the gaydar was going. I knew I was queer at this point. I was out to a lot of people. I was definitely out to friends and I don't think I was officially out to my parents, but they knew. I was in grade 2 singing High School Musical and I would be Troy and Gabriella. Oh my gosh, really funny story real quick. When I started my job at Cash Converters, my most recent job, me and this girl, we were sort of kikiing, having a really good time together. I was new, she was sort of training me. And she said, we were talking about High School Musical and she goes, are you team Sharpay or are you team Gabriella? And I look over her and I was like, I'm team Troy, if you know what I mean. I'm team Troy. And we just laugh. That was my favorite way I've ever come out of the closet to someone is saying that I'm team Troy out of High School Musical. Also, which High School Musical is your favorite? I know I feel bad. I do not appreciate High School Musical 2 as much as I should. I really don't. I'm a High School Musical 1 girly through and through, but I definitely understand why number 2 is people's favourites. And I wish I had those same feelings, but I just don't. And High School Musical 1 will just be so special to me in so many ways. I literally performed it at a grade 2, what's it called? We did a grade 2 sleepover where everyone sleeps over at school and it's like a talent show sort of thing, and I performed it with 2 other girls. It was so funny. And then the CD, I think we had like a CD with all the soundtracks on it, but the CD wasn't working or something, so we just sang it raw. We just raw dogged it. We absolutely just raw dogged High School Musical. Did we win? Yeah, we actually did. We won. Hey, as we should have. And anyway, do you guys care? Why am I going on about this? Anyway, so yeah, back in high school, 17, I'm trying to get someone to do some sexual things with. Why am I such a child? Why do I have to say it like that? Anyway, I'm trying to get things going in that department as a 17-year-old, because I was like, in my head I was like, I cannot be 18 to be a virgin. I cannot, like, that can't happen. No, so I was trying to get some action as a queer person. I was out to most of my friends. I wasn't technically out to my family, but like everyone knew, like everyone knew. So I seen this boy in sports class, in gym class, and I was like, I just sort of picked it that he could be an eligible bachelor for my 17-year-old self. And I lived really close to where we were doing the sports, and I was like, hey, like, because we were finishing school and that after that class, and I was like, hey, do you want to come back to mine? We'll play some video games. Like, I just went up and talked to him and just like introduce himself, and then he came back to my house. My mum was there, my sister was there, and we just sort of hung out in my room. And then, like, I don't even remember like how it started or like what even transpired. Yeah, so I had this young gentleman at my house. My parents, my mum and my sister were there, and I was like, I can't be sucking dick in my room. I was sleeping in the garage at the time. I had a room in the garage. I was like, what if like my mom comes out for a smoke? What if someone comes out, catches me? I cannot be caught sucking dick because I'm straight. I'm meant to be straight. Like my family can't know. Like they knew, but for some reason I didn't come out for a long time. Anyway, so I was like, what do I do? And then I would live near like a supermarket and near a Coles, and there was like a shopping center, like a mall sort of thing. And I was like, let's just like go there and we'll find like a toilet or something. It was disgusting. Oh my gosh, I'm saying this story and my family are going to watch this. Okay, not to get into the details, but we went to that mall, we found a disabled bathroom, and and that was like the catalyst event. I don't even know if that's the right word. That event, that environment of where that happened would be the start of something for me, and we will go through that. But that, oh my gosh, I felt like really empowered after, for like just after a little bit, but then I was just like, oh God, this is bad. Anyway, that was my first ever experience. So that I just wanted to like tell that story, and especially the part where it happened not in a home, not in a bed, it happened in a public bathroom. And that is the thing that's important, because we're going to keep going on that subject for a while. So absolutely disgusting. But look, when your first time is never going to be good. Like it can be nice, but it is what it is. It happens. I'm so glad that. No, I can't say that. I was gonna say I'm so glad that my mum isn't watching this, but then like, anyway, if you know, you know. So, that happened. That was 17, and then I turned 18, and I went onto the magical world of Grinda. I went on the grid, and if you know, you know. If you don't know, it's like Tinder, but for gay people. But the thing is, you don't match with people. So imagine you're on Tinder and you can scroll through like every single profile, and just you can message anyone at any time. You can send them anything. You can send them a picture. You can send them a message. You can like do anything to them, and you don't have to actually match. Oh my gosh, imagine if that's how Tinder worked. Women would get fucking harassed. Women would get harassed, because straight guys on Tinder, I feel like they probably harass women already. But like, imagine if they didn't even have to match you first. Oh my God, girl. I went onto the grid when I was 18, and basically I did say it was like Tinder, but I think straight people use Tinder for sex only. I don't know, but Grindr is pretty much sex only. And it's not just sex only, it's like sex now. It's like if you're on it, most of the time, majority of people, they're looking for action now. So you go on it and you're like, you put in your little photos, you put in your little bio, like blah, 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 like I'm top, bottom, can't host, wanna fuck now, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God. So yeah, you say whatever you want. I'm not going to get into the details of what mine says. You can back the fuck up if you think I'm going to drop that info. I'm already sharing enough of my stories. This ain't going to... Should I? Why should I do it? Should I be chaotic? No, pretty much I was just like, if you couldn't tell already, I'm not much of a dom top. Let's just say that. All right. So, I hate myself right now. What am I doing? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying all this. No, but I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to be relatable. And yeah, but I'm not going to cry on this episode. I'm not going to fucking cry. I better not. Anyway. So yeah, hopped on Grindr at the age of 18, and normally that is not the worst experience because, like, you know, you're 18, you're legal, you can find other people like-minded that you might want to meet up with. But here's where the issue of being in a small town comes in, okay? So let's just go through a little percentage. So I would say 10% of people on Grindr are openly gay or queer people looking to meet other, like, regular gay people. They don't really matter. They don't really care too much on if you're, like, feminine or manly. They sort of just, you know, they're regular sort of... I don't know, like, regular means different. It means something different to everyone else. But I guess, like, just like normal gay people looking for other gay people. I'd say 10%. I would say 80% is maybe 75%. I'm not good at maths. I'm already losing. Maybe let's say 80%, so I'll make it even. 80% of people are either no pictures or torso pictures. So you don't see their face. It's just a blank profile, or it's their chest or their legs, something like that. You don't know who they are. So they, and their bios are just like, must be discreet, straight acting, looking for feminine, sissy cross-dressers or twinks, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh my gosh, being 18 and being so impressionable, I guess, still, like, you're still, like, yeah, you're so impressionable. Seeing that sort of stuff ruined me as a plus size, as a more feminine, I guess, more feminine plus size, like, person on Grindr. I was just like, so where, like, who wants me? Why does no one want me? Like, yeah, they did want feminine, but they wanted, like, skinny twinks, hairless, like, yeah, twinks. And look, I'm a twink at heart, but I don't look I'm not built like a twink, you know what I mean? I'm twink acting. No, but yeah, I was like, so like 80% of people were that, 10% of people were like, actually, like, you could talk to, and the other 10% were like muscly guy, really, really built muscle guys, like looking for other manly, muscular, not into femme, blah, blah, blah. So it's like either they want skinny, feminine, twinky boys, they want muscular, manly people that look exactly like themselves. Oh my gosh, guys, I don't know if you've seen many gay relationships around, but I swear the amount of gay relationships where they look like twins, they look exactly the same. That is so weird. You guys are probably third cousins. Get on fucking Hereditary and have a look. Hereditary? Is that what it is? Ancestry. Ancestry. Not what I said before. No. Get on Ancestry.com because your boyfriend is probably your cousin. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like an epidemic. Gay people are dating people that look exactly like them. Girl, what in the self-absorbed shit is that? I love that. Anyway, so yeah, there's like, either they want manly muscular people who look exactly like them, or the other people are like looking for like skinny, twinky, feminine, femme-acting, femme-presenting little twinkie boys. And where does that leave me? Like, yeah, there are some people that I would get messages from, but yeah, so a lot of the people that I would get messages from, or would like that would actually reply to me, were people that were in the closet. So they were some of the ones that wanted like the femme-presenting ones. But the thing is, most of them were in the closet or they had a girlfriend or wife. So this is where it fucks with your head. This is where it started. So the story goes, there's this one person, I'm not going to name names, but there was this one guy that I slept with maybe once or twice a month for about nearly 2 years, for like a long, like we would hook up quite a lot over a long period of time, but it was never like serious or anything like that. It was just like for fun. And so the first 3 times I slept with him, I did not know that he had a partner. I didn't realize. And then I found out because where I was working at the time, him and his partner did come into my job, and I was like, oh, okay. And look, I am like, it is on me. I'm a little bit of a bad person for continuing to do that for over a long period of time. I knew, but also be nice to me. I was a vulnerable young boy, and I didn't get any attention, and I thought that his attention was the only one that was worthy. That was worth it. I mean, like, I didn't have anyone else. I didn't have anything else. So getting his attention was like, oh, someone pays attention to me, someone likes me. And that's, I guess, all we want a lot of the time. And I would tell myself, no, I'm not going to go back. And then, he would message me, and I would be vulnerable. I wouldn't be able to, because I was still on Grindr all the time while we were hooking up, and like looking for other people, and then looking for Tinder and on Tinder, and looking for dates and relationships and stuff. But there just wasn't many options, and I had to keep going back. And what that did over time was really destroy my self-worth. I guess I'll break down a typical hookup for me and this person. So he would pick me up from my house late at night. Think about maybe like, sometimes it'd be like 12, sometimes it'd be 11, maybe 3, 4, like late. After he would finish work, or after he'd be free, after his girlfriend's gone to sleep. And we obviously couldn't do it at my house. I didn't want, like, I'm not going to invite some random person into my house where my family are and do something there. And then we couldn't go to his house, obviously, because he had a girlfriend there. So what would we do is we would go to really sketchy places and really disgusting, gross places, and we would hook up. And so that sort of brings it back to what I was talking about before, about the public bathroom. I feel like majority of the times we were in a public bathroom, there was some times where it was on like a footy oval behind like a restaurant at like some shed, like sometimes just like on the side of the road, like in the middle of nowhere. Oh my gosh, the first time was like at these, oh my gosh, people in Warrnambool are going to know the spot, but like at a certain sporting equipment, I'm not going to say the sport, but some sort of sporting facility outside, like right over his car, right out the side front of those sporting area. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. So yeah, that was wild to me. That was I'm cringing. But yeah, it was always hidden. It was always late, and it was always I guess the actual experiences of themselves were we would never kiss. We would never have any intimacy. It was, you do this to me, and then I'm gonna hit you from the back, and then I'm gonna finish, and then I'm dropping you home. And that's what it was. And oh my gosh, I'm not gonna cry this episode, but it just really messed with my head for a long time that I wasn't worthy of love and of, I guess, pleasure and intimacy. And for a long time, it really did ruin my sense of self-worth. And I think when you're in sort of a situation like that, you just keep going back because you sort of almost get told that that's all you're worth. Yeah, and it really hurts me. It still does to this day. And it really messed with my head for a long time. Still does to this day a little bit. I've definitely grown out of it, which I'll touch on, but it's heartbreaking. It was demoralizing. It was every week, or once every couple of weeks, it was late night. It was in a public place where we were hidden, and it was dark, and I got nothing out of it. And it wasn't even like good. It wasn't enjoyable. I would come home every time and cry a lot of the time, or I would be really upset, and I would just be like, why am I doing this? But then, yeah, it was really sad. It really ruined me. look, there was times where I initiated it and I did it to myself. Like, so I used to like use him for lifts to get around. So like if I was going out to the club with my friend, I would be like, hey, I need a lift there. So he would pick me up, we would do whatever, and then he would drop me off. And then like a few hours later, he would pick me up, same thing, he would drop me home. Or he would drop me to a different person to hook up with. Ew. Anyway, I was... So as much as I'm saying that like I hated the experiences, I did also put myself in those experiences. I did use him as a taxi pretty much, which like, at least I got something, girl. I wasn't getting anything else. Anything else. Oh my gosh. And yeah, he just like, his car was disgusting. He smelled. It was just a terrible experience all around, and it ruined me for years. It taught me that, I wasn't allowed to have pleasure. Sex isn't intimate. You're just there as an object, and you're not worth anything, and no one wants you. That's what it taught me. And every now and then I would find someone else and would have a similar experience. It wasn't many. It was mainly just him and a couple others every now and then. But even the other ones that I was having was with people in public places, and I didn't even know their names. We never kissed. It wasn't intimate. It was nothing. And it's really quite sad looking back on it. And if there's anyone else in a similar situation where you might be putting yourself into situations that aren't the safest, just be really, really careful. Just know that it isn't always worth it. Luckily, I was never taken advantage of. I was never hurt, luckily. But there was times where, something could have happened. And, Grindr is a really good place a lot of the time. But, there obviously there's some bad people everywhere. So just, if you're in a similar situation, be really careful. And just know that, you are worth it. You are beautiful. You're worth it. You're worthy of love. You deserve intimacy. You deserve pleasure. Sex is something that is beautiful for everyone, and it's not just one or the other. If they could take anything away from this episode, is just to remember that you are worthy of love. You are worthy of it. You deserve it. And I wish that someone could have told me that years ago when I was going through that. So if there's any young queer kids that are about to hop on the grid, or anyone that's doing anything like that, don't be afraid to speak up for what you want. And if they can't meet your needs, and it's not worth it, it's not worth it. It's really not. So I guess that's what I wanted to touch on first, and sort of give that backstory to, it's hard, and being in a small town doesn't help that. It makes it worse. So a lot of people are closeted, and I understand, it is hard to come out. It's obviously getting easier. I think the longer that it goes on, it's probably easier to come out. It would have been easier for me to come out than people 20 years ago, for sure. But I think living in a country town, living like in a smaller area, not in a city, it is harder for people, especially, with all the stuff that goes on in high school and stuff. Everyone's calling each other gay or fag. It's the worst thing to be. If you think you're gay in high school, if people think you're gay, that's like the worst thing. Well, it was when I was in high school anyway. And so I do understand that it can be hard for people to come out, especially if they've already got a life set up, if they've got a partner and kids, or if maybe they didn't realize that they did want to experiment with that sort of thing until later in life when they were already set up. I understand. It's hard, but just be safe, everyone. Be out there that's going on any sort of dates or hookups or anything like that. Be safe. And then I guess the conclusion with that story with that person is, just before I flew out to Perth, when I was a few weeks before, I decided that after all this time, I'm going to reach out to his partner and tell her everything. So I'd stopped hooking up with him for a while before it happened. Maybe actually not a while, maybe only a couple months, where I put my foot down and said this has to stop because it was ruining me. And no, oh my gosh. Okay, I remember why I had to tell her. I seen that he got engaged. They got engaged. They were girlfriend and boyfriend, and then they were engaged. They were fiancés. And I think it was a mix of that plus like my own self-guilt. And I guess it was pretty selfish of me to try to, clear my own conscience. It it was like pretty selfish of me to do that to them, you know. It was, but I also felt like she needed to know before she, you know, agreed to have a life with him. So reached out to her on Messenger. I had all the screenshots. I just sort of let her know what was going on, how long it had been going on, what's happening. And yeah, also he had sent me photos of her doing stuff to him as well, which is, you know, really ridiculous and I think a crime. I mean, I don't know if that's a crime or not, but it should be. And so yeah, I told her everything. She sort of messaged me back and said, like, yeah, appreciate you telling me. I would really appreciate if you blocked him off everything, because I think I talked to him on a few different apps and socials and stuff. So I said, I totally understand. I'll block him on everything. And then she said, I'm going to block you as well and work this out. And I said, yeah, that's totally fine. So blocked all of him. She blocked me and, you know, that's all good. That's fine. So I do know that they are still together to this day. They've been dating for over 10 years. So good for them for making it work. I will touch on this gentleman again at some point later. But yeah, that's all for part one for the present. No, what is it called? Past, present, future. Past. That is the past. So yeah, let's end it there for now, and we'll get into the present in just a second. Let's get into part two, the present, or more recent experiences in the world of dating and hookup culture and being a raging homosexual. So yeah, after hearing all of what I've just said, sorry to my family for listening to that, but you know, it is what it is. I'm vulnerable and I'm an adult, so I don't care. So yeah, after all of that I've just talked about and what my experience has been so far, I've moved to Perth. And the best thing about dating in Perth is, like, there's just more fish in the ocean, right? There's more options. So, like, even if there's still crappy people, there's more people. So there's just more chances of finding a better person, or just, like, finding someone that's not a creep or has a girlfriend or a wife or wants to hide you away in a public bathroom. Anyway, so, yeah, the first time I met up with someone in Perth it was like an older gentleman. This is like, you probably learned that comes to be my type quite often, but it was an older gentleman who invited me over to his place, and it was the very first time that I actually hung out with someone and did stuff on a bed. Normally it was in really disgusting places, but this time, for the first time, it was on a bed. And guess what? There was kissing for the first time. It wasn't just like get into it and no intimacy. It was actually like fun and like mutual, and not like one person getting like things, you know what I mean? So from the very first experience that I had in Perth was like so much better than anything that I'd ever experienced. And it started teaching me that I am worthy of love and I deserve that as well. And so, yeah, it was here and there. Like, I still didn't really do any dating. It was more just like, yeah, getting on Grindr and stuff. I did go on one date, actually. I guess I'll talk about that. I've only ever gone on one date in my life, and it was actually with a couple. So it was two guys who were already together, and they were looking for like a third. And I met them on Tinder, talked to both of them. Like, I talked to one of them first, and he like sort of explained the situation, and then started messaging the other one, and then it was like a bit back and forth, and then it was like, let's go on a date and just see how it goes. That was cool. We went to Krispy Kreme, like the actual like restaurant cafe, like an actual like, not like 7-Eleven or anything, like an actual Krispy Kreme chain. And like they do like, oh my God, they do these like the glazed donuts. They do them fresh and hot for free. So you go in the restaurant and they're making like a massive conveyor belt line of like freshly warm glazed donuts, and you just like snack on that while you're waiting to order. Oh my gosh, so good. So good. They should do that in Warrnambool for sure. And yeah, that was a really fun experience. It was like my first ever time going on a date, so I was really, really nervous. But the two guys were like really, really sweet. They were a little bit weird in the sense that like, I don't think they were ready for a third person. They had a bit of weird dynamics. I was a bit like, oh, you guys are cool, but I don't know, it just didn't feel right for me. I don't reckon they were ready for it. I reckon they were like, oh, this would be fun, but it was kind of a weird dynamic because one of them was a bit older, the other one was a bit younger, and it was like, I don't know, they were just a bit loopy. I don't know. Wasn't the vibe. So yeah, went on my first date in Perth, which was good. It was, either way, it was a fun experience of like still getting to explore that and have something that's not just like you meet someone for the first time and you're instantly hooking up. So that was fun. And then obviously I was just, still hooking up with people every now and then, and started to sort of, I guess, open up a bit more. Like, I guess the main issue was like, I went through like a lot of troubles with trying to allow myself to have fun in those moments. I was like, I need to like be the person that's like helping the other person. This is really weird to talk about with my auntie in the room. Shout out to my auntie Tani. But let's just get right into it. But basically, I was like, I had a fear of pleasure for myself, so I wouldn't let anyone do anything to me because I was like, that is disgusting. I don't deserve that because of all the experiences that I just shared earlier. So I had a bit of a fear of like, oh, I'm not worthy of that. I'm not allowed to experience that. I'm not allowed to. Like, it's not something that I like. So I, for a long time, for maybe a year and a half in Perth, out of my 2 years, I was like, no, I don't like things being done to me. I don't like that. That's not enjoyable. And I thought something was wrong with me. I was like, oh, I'm just maybe just not that sort of person. And then I met someone who, off Grindr, who was older still. Again, everyone that, like most people that I've been with have been older. I think he was in his 40s. And he invited me over to his place, and I thought it was just going to be like a normal hookup, like how it normally goes. You just go there, you get straight into it. You don't really talk. You don't really kiss. You just sort of like do the actions, get into the rhythm, and then you go. And this gentleman was really different from the get-go. It was in like an apartment complex. He like came out of the gate and like got me and like brought me in, and we started talking, and like we like told each other our names and like what we've been doing and like what we do for work. And it was like, that probably sounds so generic to everyone else that's like straight, or like everyone else that's dates sort of, like it's probably a really normal thing. But if you're part of the like gay scene, you know that that's not really a super normal thing. So I was like, well, this is weird. This is different. And yeah, like what wasn't different, what was still the same, we pretty much got into it, not like pretty much straight away after that brief chat, but the actual experience itself was eye-opening. It was, oh my gosh, this is really weird to say, but it was a very long night. It was like, I think I got there about 10 o'clock and we didn't like stop until like 3 a.m, which is like wild. And it was just like the first time that I've experienced someone wanting to actually like be intimate and like kiss passionately and like touch and like cuddle and like sort of showed me what it was like to have that with someone. And it was just such an eye-opening experience. It taught me so much. And you know, going back to what I was talking about before about how like I wasn't feeling comfortable to let someone do anything to me and that sort of thing, he like really opened my eyes to that and sort of allowed me to feel good and like everyone should during sex. You know, it's something that it's not one-sided. It's not one thing being meant to do, like you're meant to do one thing to one person. It's meant to be mutual. And I'm very grateful for him and that he taught me that sort of thing. It was such an eye-opening experience, and it really like changed my life almost, like that one night. And yeah, I ended up like, I didn't like stay at his house. I went home and I just like decompartmentalize, that the word? Like I went home and like just like fully just was like thinking about everything and sort of trying to break down what had just happened and process it all, because that wasn't how sex was meant to be for me. I'm not used to that. And it was crazy and it was wild. And I was so head over heels for him at that moment. And like, I was like, this is the best thing ever. And then like, yeah, we ended up meeting up a couple of days later, similar thing. And then he made me dinner and we had like it wasn't like a date, I guess, but like he invited me over to his house he made me dinner. We just talked and like talked about music and talked about like pop culture and really, really nice. And then obviously like I stayed the night and stuff and went to work the next morning. But it was the first experience that I've had with someone that I was like, whoa, like I am worthy of love. I am worthy of pleasure. I'm worthy of enjoyment. And like this is real life. Like I for the first time envisioned myself being able to date someone, being able to fall in love with someone and be able to, like, not that I was in love with him, but just like it opened my eyes to that could be a possibility with someone else. And yeah, like ended up like fizzling out with him. Just wasn't really the right match at the right time. He was lovely, and I've chatted to him recently and stuff. He's really, really sweet, but it was just a bit, I wasn't really ready for a commitment. And yeah, it was just, yeah, I hope he's not listening, because that would be really weird if he is. Hi, hope you're well. So yeah, he opened my eyes to a lot of different experiences, a lot of different options moving forward. And then from there, I really carried that with me into every other sort of adventure that I would have. I did a little bit of exploring my sexuality and my identity, and sort of started experimenting a little bit with women and men and little different things here and there, and sort of starting to explore that and learn what I like and what I don't like. And that was all thanks to this gentleman. And yeah, so it was really good. And I think what you can take out of that is that, you know, like I said before, you're worthy of love. You're worthy of that. Like it might just be the wrong person. Like find someone that helps you actually like enjoy yourself as well. You know, it's mutual. As I said it before, I've said it again. It's like, it's a beautiful thing that's meant to be enjoyed together. Like do not settle for less. Do not take like shit from anyone for it. Like if you're doing stuff to them, you need to get it done back if you want, you know, like it's mutual. And to all the people out there that are selfish in bed, fuck you. Get better. It's not worth it, all right? Like just eat her out or something, man. Like it's not my problem. I don't care if you don't like it. If you want her to go down on you, gotta go down on her. Period. So yeah, that was like the present and what I'm feeling now. So that sort of leads up to how I am now, where I like stuff being done to me as well as me doing stuff to other people. And I'm not going to go into details, but you know, it's just, sex is not just a thing that I'm ashamed of anymore. So it's beautiful, and yeah, I don't even know what to talk about in the present. It sort of leads to where I am now and what I want in the future. So I guess we can start discussing that and what I want moving forward. So that was we've gone through the past, we've gone through sort of the present and the more recent experiences, and I guess we can start moving forward into what else I want to do and what I'm looking for in a person. And then if you think you meet these qualities, hit my line. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, moving forward, I guess Warrnambool is probably not a place where I'm going to find a person. I have been on the apps again, looking around. I did ask someone out on a date when I got back here a few weeks ago. Unluckily, they are with someone else. That is sad, but I don't think there is options for me right now, or at least none that are presenting to me on any of the apps. There might be some people still struggling with their identity and, you know, might come out of the closet, or there might be people that maybe move to Warrnambool and maybe I meet someone new. But for now, I don't think I'm going to be able to find that person in Warrnambool, which is really upsetting because I'm ready for a boyfriend. I'm ready for a partner. I haven't been for a long time, but I'm ready. I really want to see who I am as a partner, because I feel like if I do finally meet someone, I'm worried that I'm not going to be like a good partner to them because I don't have that experience. And I feel like there's so many people that get into relationships and then their relationships become their whole personality, and they lose a lot of their self and they lose a lot of their friends. And I'm really, really scared that I'm going to be that person, because back when, you know, talking back about my past, I was really attached to that person because I felt like that was the only person that showed me attention, and that was the only person that sort of told me that I was worthy of love. And I'm scared that if I do find someone else now, that I'm not going to be the best version of me in that relationship. So I'm like, I kind of want to go on dates and try to get into a relationship, not so that it can end and I can find a better one, but just so I can experience who I am as a person. And look, even saying it out loud, I think I'm not going to slip into bad habits again, because I'm not the same person I was back then when I was in those bad habits. So I think, you know, even speaking about it out loud is making me feel better that when I do finally find someone that meets all the qualities that I want, it's going to be great, and I'm going to be great, because I've learned a lot over the past 2 years and I'm not who I was back then. So yeah, actually, I just gave myself therapy just thinking about that, actually. So scratch all that. I'm not worried about anything. I'm the hottest, baddest bitch in the bull, and no one can touch me. Except please touch me. No, I feel really good about it. Okay, let's go about what I want in a partner. Okay. 6'5", blue eyes, fine. No, I love that TikTok though. No, I definitely want someone that's funny. That's like my main quality, because like I feel like I banter a lot, and I need someone that can go back and forth. Someone that can banter about pop culture, movie quotes, like funny videos or like internet memes. Like I need someone that can banter back and forth. Looks wise, I guess I don't really have a type. I don't think I do. I have like been with many people of different sizes and looks and backgrounds and stuff like that. I don't really know if I have a type. Like I can't think of one thing that I'm more attracted to than others. I don't really know. So I guess that's still up in the air, which is cool. And I want someone that is not stuck, not like that. I want them to have like a drive or a passion or some sort of like future. Like I don't want someone that's like, oh, I don't know, like I don't want to do anything. Like if you're just like at home and just like on Centrelink and not doing anything, or like if you don't have like a passion or a goal or some sort of like thing that you're looking forward to. I want to like grow with someone together and like pursue those together. Maybe someone that wants to travel a bit, because I've touched on that in last episode that I do want to travel again. So maybe someone that wants to travel, and maybe someone that's my age. I've tried it with so many people that are older than me. Like it's actually really funny. I'm not going to say I've slept with a lot of people, but I've slept with a few people and all of them have been older except for like one single time. Was the very first time I slept with someone that was younger than me. And oh my gosh, okay, this is going to be really embarrassing, but I'm going to just put it out there because I'm being vulnerable and I'm going to share the oldest person that I've hooked up with, all right? Now, I need you guys to not judge, all right? Just remember that there wasn't many options for me, and if you judge me for this, I will kill you in your sleep and you will not wake up tomorrow. So, yeah. So anyway, the oldest that I've been with is 63. Now that is very old, I know that. It was a moment of vulnerability, and since then I've not slept with someone close to that age. But normally the guys that I've been with are around like in their 30s or 40s. And I think I want to date someone that is like in their late 20s, like early to late 20s, maybe 30, like maybe 30s, 30 the max. Because I feel like I want someone older than me in theory, but then when it actually comes to like personality wise and dating wise, I want someone that's like, that I can relate to in a lot of things and sort of grow together. Long term, there's a sort of jumping the gun here, but long term, I definitely envision myself being a dad. I've always envisioned that. I think it's just who I am. So I guess like long term goals, like super long term, I want kids in some capacity. I don't know how that happens or how the processes or what occurs. Like I don't know exactly how that will look, but I do envision myself having kids with a partner and getting married and having a massive wedding. Like I will be the biggest bridezilla bride at the wedding. Like I would be terrible. I'll probably lose all my friends and family during a wedding planning process because I'm going to be the biggest bridezilla ever. But the wedding is going to be beautiful. I'll tell you that much right now. And I'm going to be the star of the show. I'll tell you that right now. You think you'll have a single moment to shine at my wedding? Not a chance. That dance floor is mine and mine only. Like, you know when they do like usually a first dance with your partner, right? I think you do a first dance with your parent or something like that. It's just going to be me. It's a one-woman show. It's just me. Excuse me. It's just me performing maybe like a Broadway cabaret show on the dance floor for the whole wedding. And actually, you guys have to pay to come to my wedding as well. It's a show. It's actually a wedding, but it's a show. It's a production. And maybe I'll record a podcast as well. It's just going to be a whole production, all right? And you guys are going to have to pay for my wedding. That's how big my wedding's going to be. So that's long-term goals. I want a picket fence and a man and a wife and kids and a job. No, I just want a man who is funny and who wants to grow together and who wants to do fun things together and experience things. And then eventually get married and have kids. Is that so hard to find? It really is. So I think what I've already done, right, is I've actually expanded my Tinder out further. So I'm like looking for people like in like that are like hundreds of kilometers away, like Ballarat and Geelong and Melbourne and stuff, because there's more fish in the sea. Like I said, there's more options. So I think that's what we want to do. We want to look outwards. We want to look for other people that aren't in Warrnambool, because Warrnambool, I love it, but it's just not the vibe for dating wise. So guys, there you go. That is the past, present, and the future. I don't have any words of the week for this episode because I've been reading I will touch on the book that I'm reading though. It's called How to Be a Better White Person, and I will look up the author. It is such an eye-opening book, and I would really I would recommend it to anyone. So it's called The Black Friend on Being a Better White Person by Frederick Joseph, and he just talks about his experience growing up with racism in America, and he has a lot of interviews and sort of conversations with other people of color, or Latino, Latinx, other African American people, about their experiences, and it sort of teaches you how to be a better white person. It's got like an encyclopedia at the back. It's like sort of gives you all these like definitions of words. It touches on a lot of really good things. I think it was made in 2019, and sort of just before the BLM movement. And so he wrote it in 2019, but then in 2020 a lot of things happened, so he did make another sort of addition in the front half of it before the actual book starts touching about that as well. But it's a really, really good book. It's very refreshing from what I've been reading. I've been reading a lot of gay romance books, a lot of young adult queer guys who, for 300 pages of the book, they do nothing but hold hands, and in the last 10 seconds they finally kiss. So I've been reading nothing but that, but this is like a non-fiction, very informative book, which is a really nice change, and it's a refreshing change. So no words of the week for this episode. I haven't read enough of the book to find any words that I don't mean and that I don't know. And even if there was, like the author does a really good job in this book of explaining what the words are. So no words of the week this episode, but next one, maybe. So I guess that's everything, guys. Thank you so much for listening through all of this. This has been a journey. This has been some self-therapy for myself. And hopefully you guys can take one thing out of it. Just remember what I'm saying. This is my little mantra that I say to myself, is that you're beautiful, you are worthy, and you are worthy of love. So if you can take anything out of my podcast, please take those words. And yeah, please rate the podcast, like, comment, subscribe wherever you're listening to it. Whatever you're doing, just get to my socials, run it up. Plenty more episodes coming soon. I really appreciate you guys listening, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.